Welcome to another Contemplative Living. All right, so here we are for another week's worth of contemplations, and I want to announce the winner of this week's contest for a copy of my book, A Voice as Old as Time, Contemplations for Spiritual Transformation. And the winner today, congratulations to Gail Finn from Florida. Congratulations, you are the winner for this week's copy. And if you would like to win a copy, it's very simple. All you have to do is share this video or share this post on your stream, but make sure that you are a friend. Make sure you're a friend, or I won't see your that you've shared. Otherwise, I just don't see it. And if I can't see it, I can't declare you the winner. Okay, so we're all winners, though. We're all winners. So this week is there a lot of challenges this week. So it's very interesting that Spirit kind of gave the contemplations this week to work on ourselves. So you'll see in just a second what I'm talking about, and self-work is always a very good endeavor. It always moves us forward, always keeps us moving in the right direction. So to take a few moments each day for contemplation, for stillness, and to reintegrate yourself with yourself, find yourself. Those are all good things. All right. So also, if you're interested and you want to come live on the show this morning, you can join me here. You just have to use this link. And when you use that link, then you should go in my little waiting room where I can see you and bring you in on the show if you're interested. Hi, Yolanda. Great to see you. Great. So the first, let's get into it here. The first contemplation is, and I'm going to have to look. No, I guess I can leave the link up there for a little bit because all the text is on the top. All right. I just need to look at what I'm showing here, I guess. But so the first one is, we might be at the mercy of fate, yet our inner domain is impenetrable. Whew, can't talk this morning either. So our inner domain is amazing. We've all heard that, we have to our life is our castle, that our body is our castle, and that we have to take care of it. Well, the same with our inner domain, our spiritual domain that lives within us. That's that center of our essence. It's always there for us. It's impenetrable in the ways of today's circumstances. Really can't touch it. We can move away from it. Morning, Jill. We can move away from it, but the circumstances around us can't really touch our inner essence. It's what we allow. It's what we allow in our life to permeate into our essence, into our being, that affects us. So, like this says, we might be at the mercy of fate in our daily circumstances, but yet our inner domain is impenetrable. And that is what's most important, is that we maintain that focus on our inner essence and bringing that purity of self into our daily life. So I really like that. I like that concept of our essence is pure, and nothing can really hurt it. At one time, I had a friend, and I had just gone through a bad period in my life, and a friend of mine had gone through a really tough separation, and we were talking, and we kind of went out for to have a bite and a cup of coffee, and I said, boy, had all your defenses up and everything like that. And he said, yeah, I had to defend myself. So I had this great team of lawyers and this and that and the other thing. And I said, well, now it's all over. So how are you feeling? And he says, well, I still have to keep my guard up. And it's like, so he's not allowing himself to experience the beauty of the world because he still has his guard up. And I was sad, and I said, you need to let go. I said, you're not experiencing the totality of the goodness in life if you're constantly guarded and you're hiding behind your walls. And so I don't think he heard me that day, but I know later on that he did. But it took a little while for him to hear that message because he had to get past the trauma. And there's been a lot of trauma this week, so a lot of us are in that situation where we're being guarded, and we're standing behind a wall of frustration or anger or something like that. But our true essence, our purity, is still there, and it's just patiently waiting for us. So we'll move on to the next one. And so enjoy a lifetime of well-being and joy. Seek balance. It's our natural state of being. Like we were just saying, if we allow ourselves to get caught up in the circumstances of life, it doesn't really allow us to be in balance because it's constantly pulling us one way or the other. And when we seek balance, that's when our whole body gets to relax. Our life gets to find a smoother path on which to tread. I don't know why Spirit wanted to use that word just now, but tread. Okay. We're going to, and to enjoy our lives. Even when we're in some of the darkest periods. This illustration is, of the yin yang in a star field. And the star field, it depends on your perception. It can seem either like darkness or it can seem like millions of lights. It's our perception. And so a lot of times to seek balance, we have to let go of both. It's neither light nor dark. It simply is. And that's a concept that took me a while to come to understand. And when I allowed myself to just be, and the circumstances that are in my life just are, and there's no judgment of good, bad, light, dark. It's just that is the present. It's just the present. And so in order to be balanced, we have to live in that neutral, balanced center of being present and not judging it and not allowing it to permeate into our essence and dim our own light. So what we want to do, and in order to enjoy life, we have to bring our light out, let it shine, be a light. And so to enjoy a lifetime of well-being and joy, we need to seek that balance. I find that is always the case. We always have to come back to that one. So the next one says, give yourself loving self-talk. Okay, so how are we going to find this balance we were just talking about? Give yourself loving self-talk. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself by going with the flow of your life. Okay, again, there's a lot going on right now around the world that can, pull us this way, pull us that way. But we need to be gentle with ourselves. We need to give ourselves that loving self-talk. Yeah, I may not have handled a certain situation the way that I wanted to, but I love myself and I can be better next time because I'll recognize it sooner because I've already experienced it once or twice or maybe 10 or 20 times. But anyway, I still love myself and I know that I can be better and that I can come from a place of love. And when we do that, we start to experience that flow of life. And what I mean by the flow of life is when things just seem to go the way they're supposed to. And it's hard sometimes because life is chaotic and it throws you curveballs all the time. And we have to learn to, sometimes we catch the ball, sometimes we let it go past us. But we have to learn to go with the flow of life and use our intuitive self. We all have that intuitive self and trust it. And allow it to guide us so that we are maintain more of that balance that we were talking about earlier. And with the loving self-talk, we empower and bring our light out. When we're not loving for ourselves, that light can't get past the walls, can't get past the gate that we've constructed. It's always our own construction. Those walls are built by ourselves, but we can't get past them sometimes if we don't find that love within ourselves. And loving self-talk is the key to unlock that gate. So that's that's important to have that key in your pocket all the time, to be able to love yourself. So consider those things that you enjoy, the scents, the sights, the sounds that bring calm to your mind and spirit and warming your heart. So this is another way of bringing joy into our heart. By looking we don't always have to look at the negative side of life. We can look at the things, the sights, the sounds, the aromas that bring our heart into joy, makes our heart sing. When we look at the positive side of things, it can just make our life a little more tolerable, even in a dark moment. My mom used to be really, she had a hard time seeing the positive in life. And I really felt so bad for her because her life was just so hard, but she kept dwelling on the negatives of life. She was one of those persons where the grass was always greener on the other side of the fence, and she would find a way to get on the other side of the fence, and then the other side looked greener to her. So it was just a constant trial. I felt so bad for her that she couldn't find joy. And then she would have moments of joy, but she wouldn't allow that to be, she wouldn't allow that to be a part of her. She would experience some joy, but then she would immediately see the negative that surrounded it. And that's not a good way to live. It creates a lot of stress and strain, and it did manifest in her with some health issues and things like that. But so to try to move away from the negative and consider those things that you enjoy. Hi, Jean. Good morning. That's a way to live life, and that's what we're all here for, is to live life. Not to dwell in life, not to survive through life, but to live life. And by focusing on the things that bring us joy and calm our mind and our spirit, it brightens our light. It brightens who we are, so that we can then, move into the day, move in and bring that light to everyone else, and share that type of light. So I mean, that's a big part of what it is that we want to display in ourselves. So pray for fortitude, strength, and clarity to interact with the calm and resolve. So a lot of times we need to stand tall, and we need some additional strength, and we need that fortitude. Remember, our being is impenetrable from the first meme that I showed, but here we're asking for extra strength, that the circumstances don't overwhelm us. And so we pray for fortitude and strength and clarity so that we may interact with a calm resolve. To be in that place of calm allows us to develop that clear vision so that we can see beyond the circumstances. We can see the solutions. We can find the solutions. Many times when we are in that dark place, we can't see because we haven't allowed our light to illuminate our path before us. We're just stuck in the darkness. And so to pray for fortitude and strength and clarity, it allows us to brighten that light enough to bring out the calm, illuminating essence of who we really are, so that we can find our path, so that we can find a way through. And it may seem a lot of times that we need to be that strong person. You know, that happens in life. There are times when we have to be the one that's strong for others. So pray for that. Pray for that strength. Pray for that fortitude and that clarity. When we have that clarity of being, like I said, you know, it gives us the ability to see what's needed so that we can be there to help others. And that's kind of where we are, especially this week, with all the trials and tribulations that we've had and some of the past memories. I live here in Virginia Beach, and this week is the week that we remember the mass shooting that was 1 year ago this week. In fact, yesterday, 1 year ago yesterday. And so, you know, sometimes we have to pray that we don't become overwhelmed, that we just don't become overwhelmed with everything that's going on around us. So we can remain in our center and empowerment while finding common ground and mutually agreeable solutions to life's conflicts and challenges. Like I said at the beginning, you know, this is a week of working on ourselves. And when we do work on ourselves, we build ourselves up. We buoy ourselves up to the point where we can then be helpful and we can find the solutions that we need in our lives to overcome the conflicts and challenges. It's not the best way to approach life is not to feel like we have to fight our way through life and fight the challenges and the conflicts that face us, but instead to overcome them. And there's a slight difference there. We're not fighting our way through, we're flowing our way through life. And if we can remain in our center and bring that essence, that purity of ourself forward with empowerment and look for common ground. A lot of times it's something that we seem to have lost in our culture lately is the ability to find common ground and mutually agreeable solutions so that we can, what's best for the majority? What can we do to help our fellow man? You know, it's not always about us. It's not always about me and I. It's about we. What can we do? What can we accomplish? Where can we go? The trend many times is to take. And And when we do that, we're not leaving anything for our future. We're not leaving anything for our children. And so we need to find empowering solutions that are agreeable for for all of us. And when we do that, we're also helping ourselves, but that's not really the point. That's not really the point. The point is that we need to work for solutions that are good for all of us. And I don't know why, but it seems recently that we've forgotten a lot of that, and that we kind of want to live in a state of self-preservation, which I have to say, I think that I think many times that is that's what life has kind of pushed on us, is to try to maintain and self-preservation and survival. And I know what that's like. I know what that's like. I lived in that mode for a little while before I finally realized that that wasn't the way to really move forward. So last week had its challenges, but it is glorious to realize love is always there for us. It's always there for us. Anyone who's had a deep spiritually transformative experience knows that that love is there. That greater love that exists in the light, in the oneness, in that unified consciousness, that love is always there. It's there to help us, and we can pray. Remember, we were talking about praying for fortitude and strength. Well, that's what we're asking for. We're asking for that love of light to help us, to fortify us, to bring us up so that we can deal with it. Because this week is still going to have challenges. There'll still be challenges for us. But can we move forward knowing that love is always there for us? I guess that's the message that we really, really want to say this week, is that love is always there for us. And once we realize it, it's a glorious recognition. So I want to thank you for coming and listening to the podcast. Don't forget, if you share this, you have a chance to win a copy of A Voice as Old as Time. It's the book is out of print, but if you can buy it on Amazon still. There's Spiritual Simplicity Books is on there. That's Cindy and my book retail. And if you want, you can order it from us. But if you share this post, then you can have a chance to win. Thanks, Yolanda. You have a chance to win a copy, and I can either send it out as a Kindle. And Gail, you're the winner this week, so I will be contacting you very shortly, and right after this, and to find out how you want. Do you want a Kindle, or do you want a hard copy book that I can mail out? All right. So please consider joining me on Instagram or Facebook. Join me. You can also join me on Twitter. Twitter tends to be a little more. I have so many followers. It's hard to keep up with the stream sometimes, but I try. I have some tools that help me manage that sort of thing. So I hope you have a glorious week, and that you're able to maintain your center, and that you work on yourself. So namaste.